So we got a chance to go up to Bidwell Park today to check out the peak runoff during this storm. Didn't seem crazy, the park doesn't have a lot of soil on a lot of the slopes, and so every time there's a big storm we get pretty significant flows. In the area that's just burned, without all the grass there, you can really see where the water's coming down the hill and accumulates on the trails. And one of the biggest problems in the park really is just that the trails intercept a lot of the runoff and take it in places that it probably shouldn't be going. So having all the grass burned off here, it's a good chance to see where water is going. Didn't see a lot of erosion in the burn itself. One thing about the burn is just that the park has had lots of hot fire over the years. There was nothing extraordinarily severe about this fire we just had. Mainly burned off a lot of grass. As we said in some of the other videos, a lot of the trees are surviving. So we're at a place here where dozer line crossed the creek, and this is the dozer line here. So the creek diverted down the dozer line, washed a bunch of the dirt from it downstream. We're kind of in the bottom of the stream channel anyway here. Okay, so dozer line crosses the creek here, and it kind of is the creek, but just for a little ways. All right, so this is a dozer line, and they couldn't really put water bars very far up this one because there's really no soil up on that slope. So getting a lot of kind of just surface erosion here. These little rills, and then it's dumping sediment down here on the road, and that sediment's going into the creek. Here's a little bit of that surface erosion we're talking about. Just small little gullies being cut into the slope here. The problem is just that there's not a lot of soil here to start with, so when we send it down the hill, then it's gone and we don't have it here anymore. Here's a spot where a bulldozer pushed across the historic ditch that goes from the diversion dam at Bear Hole down to Horseshoe Lake. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of places in the park where existing trails focus runoff into places where it shouldn't be and cause erosion problems. And so we see that also with the dozer lines that are in the park after these fires, in places where the trails can dump water onto these dozer lines. That's where a lot of our erosion problems are, or in places where the dozer lines are right by a creek. But this dozer line here is on a ridge, and even under heavy rain, the water's just soaking in. It's not causing a lot of erosion here. As we talked about earlier, having all the vegetation burned off in places like where we've done this prescribed fire recently, really get a chance to see the nature of the drainage out here. These areas have a lot of clay, and they hold water as seasonal wetlands. Without all the grass, you can really see where that's happening. So that's the Bidwell Park Storm Report. Thanks for supporting the Lookout, and thanks for being interested in land and water.